Okay, so just create the index page. Then the next thing I'll create now is CSS. So it's the same button, new file. And then in this case, I'll have style.css. You can name it anything. Well, style is a generic name. So I have two documents. One index.html, one styles.css.
The style.css, you added that hashtag?
No. Because I didn't install there's an icons extension. If I'd installed that, it would put the CSS icon there.
Okay.
So we're creating two files. One is for
Yes.
CSS and the other
It's for HTML, yes.
Hey guys,
Hi, welcome.
good afternoon. Yeah,
Good afternoon, Michael.
good afternoon. How are you?
Hi.
Hey, sure.
Hey, who is
Okay.
that? Michael? Hi,
Yeah,
Michael.
hello. Good. What are we doing?
We're just about to begin.
We're doing the HTML recreate the design. That's what we're doing.
Okay, so we're all on the same page, right?
Yeah, so we are
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we are.
All right, so let me still clean up this.
Welcome.
Everybody that is new here, we've created a file named index.html, and then we created another file named style.css.
Sorry, my network went off just now. I didn't
Okay.
hear what you were saying.
I said we
Yeah.
just created a new file named index.html, and then we created another file named style.css. Okay.
All right, so I like to see the two files open at the same time. Yes, I know tabs I can switch here and there, but I usually like to see two
Yeah.
of them at the same time. So I use a split screen. I can go to View, Editor Layout, then Split. You choose your own split. Either you're splitting it horizontally or vertically. It's your choice. So normally I'll split left so that I have two of them, left and right. So I'd have index on this side and styles on this side. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have it cleaned up like this. Now, the next thing I'm doing is to attach, to link both of them. The index tags and then the styles sheet. And that will be done here after the title tag. So link with Emmet, you get the IntelliSense that comes up. So instead of continuing to type, I'll just select the one that matches what I want. I'm trying to link CSS, so I pick the link CSS option, and then
Okay.
it populates the regular thing I need. It will always put that style.css there. So if you named your own different, if your own is not style, then you change this one that says style.css. So if I named it main.css, I'll have to change this word style to main.css. I've gotten this so far, right? So let me move forward. Are we still together?
You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes,
Firstly,
yes.
did you type all these codes in the HTML?
No, just start by
First of all,
typing the exclamation mark.
and all this will show up.
Once you type the exclamation mark, you see a suggestion, Emmet.
Okay, okay.
I tried that, but I did not see all that show up. I didn't see that
Mine is
show up.
different.
Are you using VS Code?
Yeah, I'm using VS Code.
Okay, when you typed it, did it not show you a simple exclamation mark and then on the right hand corner you see what's Emmet? You see an Emmet sign there.
Oh,
Oh, you can
let
try
me-
shift one shift, then tap.
Check what's showing on
I'm
your
not
screen now.
seeing.
Check what's showing on your screen. Is that what you're seeing on yours?
Mine is not even showing anything. Like there's nothing. Even the first thing that looks like a triangular
Okay,
bracket
it
is red. Is
means
red.
you did not type the .html. When you typed index task,
Okay, I'll try that.
when you're creating the file, just complete the name, index tags or index or anything .html.
Okay.
Okay, to make sure you can see the whole thing, I zoomed in a little bit more. And then to break my codes to make sure nothing is hidden, I'll use the word wrap.
Okay, the number one, did you type in the doc type yourself?
No, I just put that
Or,
exclamation mark. That's all.
mine is not, mine is not bringing anything out.
Oh,
Check.
sorry. Split the screen into index HTML and style CSS.
Let's go over it again from the beginning.
Please, because I lost network. Sorry.
Okay, I'm simply going to close this too. I'm closing down everything I opened before. I'm going to create a new file.
Okay.
I hid my Explorer, that's why I'm doing file, new file. But it's still the same thing.
But like, do we need to create a new file since we already have index and
If you have yours,
style CSS?
just wait. For those who are just catching up, let me get exactly what you have. Okay, so this is a new file. Then I'm going to type the entire name. Index. I'll add something else to my own. Index task 1.html. You must complete it. It's only when you complete it that it's identified as HTML.
Okay.
So when I do the exclamation mark, I see this Emmet abbreviation.
Shift and one, right?
Yes. Do you have this?
Yes.
Then when you select it, you get the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So let me get back to my previous document, which is index task. I remember I didn't save it, so let me get rid of this one. Okay, and then I remember I split this into two so that I can arrange the second one. Let me still get back what I had before. I had style.css. So having the two documents, I split it into two so that I'll have HTML and styles. I usually don't
Okay, so
like
we should
seeing
do that.
this. If you're comfortable switching tabs, just stick with what you're comfortable doing. Okay, so I'll get back this. Remember I said at the point of linking it, before the closing head tab, I'll do link. I'll choose the link colon CSS. It already matches because we chose this as style.css. Are we together? So I should continue.
We are
Should we move forward?
doing the design tab.
What? I didn't hear
Somebody
you.
asked.
I didn't quite
Sorry,
get that.
excuse me. I wasn't. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I wasn't thoroughly listening, or let me say, I got distracted for the style CSS because I tried to create a split and what was on the actual HTML page is now on the other side.
But check, how many tabs do you have?
How many what?
How many tabs do you have on top where it says HTML, where it says index?
I have index and I have style CSS, but how do I split?
Okay. This is your normal way to split. Go to view,
Okay.
editor layout, then choose the type of split you want.
Okay.
Meaning, I used to have two tabs in one, like this. HTML is on the left, so when I go to view and say split left, it leaves HTML on the left, but gives me the two again on the right. So I'll select styles here and remove the HTML.
Okay.
So now I
Yeah,
have,
so sorry for the style CSS. That
yes,
means that's like another new file.
yes, another file, yes.
Oh, okay.
You should create it on your new file
Yes,
site. So
yes.
on the site for the link. Um, okay. Okay. When you're ready.
Okay. Okay, so the next thing to do after linking both of them, with this particular line is to start adding content. Now the first content I'm going to deal with is the header. Since they say we should try using the proper semantics, I'll just say header. And then the content on that header. Yeah.
So you press enter that the one by the down, right?
Yes.
Like the close tag.
Yes. Once you're done typing, once you type anything and it shows on Emmet, it's enough.
Yeah.
So when I say, immediately I see it, I select it and press the enter key. Then immediately I close, it should close the tag for me.
Okay.
And what is here says quiz on important facts. So I'll say quiz on important facts. If you have the live server installed on your VS Code, you should be seeing it at the lower right corner. Go live. So when I say go live, it opens whatever I've done on a browser.
Yeah.
All it does on the browser is just show you text that is on one side, one corner. Correct?
Yep.
Now let's fix what that looks like on CSS. Now on CSS, you have several selectors. There's one called the ID selector. There's one called class. There's tag selector. Tag selectors will use the name of the tag. ID selectors is you assigning an identity to a particular tag, while class selector is similar to ID but can be reused so many times on the same web page, on the same website. IDs can be used once, classes can be reused as many times as you want. So since I'm dealing with header alone and it's only going to appear once here, I can easily type header here. Means that it's a tag selector. Any place it sees the tag called header, it will work on it. So I have this, the curly brace, and then press the enter key. Are we together? Yes.
Yeah, so this session being recorded.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you type the brace, you press enter.
Once you type the curly brace and the two of them comes, then press the enter key to put it in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the first thing to do to that text is to bring it to the center. So text align is what you're looking for. Text align, center. All those options that keep popping up. If that's what you want, if it works for you, just press the enter key to accept them.
Okay.
And because we're using the go live, the live server, once you save your document, it affects the change immediately on the browser. So
What do you click to save?
to save,
Yeah, just like the normal way you
Control
save.
S. Just do your Control S. That's all.
Okay, okay.
So once you do Control S, go to the browser and check. It should have put the text in the center.
Okay, yeah, it has.
Now the next thing is to give it some form of size because the current size is too small. So I need to increase the size. In CSS, size is controlled by font, not text. So font, and then you see font size, font family, font weight, and so on and so forth. So font size, you're allowed to use the newer values, large, larger, medium, but it's more controllable when you use numbers in pixels or in EM. So I can say 20 px,
Okay.
then I'll save and check. It should have increased the size to 20.
Mm, but it's not that big though.
Yes, if you want to test how big it is, you can take it to like 200, then check, and then come back and get the appropriate size that you want. If I do like 200 and save and check, it should be this big, very big, then 20 is fair enough for me.
I can't see your browser as well.
Yes, because I'm only presenting on the VS Code. I only presented the VS Code. Yes, 200 is quite big, so use the particular size that works for you. Okay. Now the next thing to do is there's a color in that particular section. And the only way to get
Yeah,
that color
yes.
to show is to give this particular container, the header container, a size. You
You
give
said
it,
there's what?
the only way to make it show is to give it a size. That container itself, header, it should have a height and a width. Now the question is, are you designing using the entire web page, the entire browser, or you want it to be on one side of the browser? So if it's on one side of the browser, you must put a width. If it is not, leave the width blank and just put a height. Let me show you an example. If I do height and put 100 px, if you check what this will do for you, nothing, because there's no color yet. So height, then background color. The background color looks like black, so I can go with black. You save and check what you have.
Background color. Black. Okay, so we should run this thing.
Yes, just save and go to the browser. It already would have updated.
Okay, it's just showing like one big black
Black
box.
box, yes. And the text has disappeared, right?
No. Yes.
Yes, because the color of the
Color is
text
black.
is black. So we'd have to change that color. to say color, and then it should be white, right? Color of the text should say white. Now remember that there is a hexadecimal code for colors, not just their names. For example, the hexadecimal code for white is hashtag FFF. You can see it by the right hand corner. Hashtag FFFFF, like 6 Fs.
Please, how can we check our browser? Is it the view or the go?
Have you done the go live before? Have you used the go live
No,
button at the
now,
lower right
like,
corner? Let me dispose. Can you see this button here?
I'm trying to. Okay. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. Once you go live, it's only once that you need to do it. The browser opens, and then any other time, just switch to the browser. That's all.
All right.
I'm not. Okay, you said if you want to write, if you want, we can type the figures for the color.
Yes, you can type the hexadecimal codes for the color. There are
But what if you
six of them that make up the hexadecimal code, starting with the hashtag and then RGB.
Hashtag.
So R will hold 2 values or 3 values because it's supposed to be 0 to 255. G will hold 3 values, 0 to 255, and then B, so RGB, red, green, and blue. A mixture of that will give you that 16 million colors that's available.
okay, I don't. You're actually speaking Swahili.
Okay,
Right now.
let me show you an example. In place of the white, I can put hashtag. That's what begins my hex code. Then the values are RGB. So if I do 255, which is one color being full,
The
then
green also.
then another 255, another color being full. Now, in place of writing all 255s, whenever you want to use 255, just stick with FF. That's full color. So I can do FF for R, FF for G, FF for B, RGB, red, green, and blue. That's the white that you see there.
But is it not better to not scroll down and select the one you want?
Yes, but what if you're looking for a color that's not there?
Oh, okay.
So when you're looking for a particular color, you can go to Google and say hex code for, then type the color you're looking for. So hex code for navy blue, hex code for onion purple, and so on and so forth.
X code.
Yes, hex, HEX.
Okay.
So the color brings back the text. Okay, this is exactly how to see those hex codes as well.
I'm sorry to ask again, how do I go live?
Have
Because I
you?
can't find it. No.
It's still not. If you have done it once, what will be here now would say port 5500.
No,
Check
you
where
should
the cursor is.
ask her if she has live server.
She actually installed live server. Did you install live server on your VS Code?
Oh no, no, let me do that now.
Okay, just add the extension live server. Okay, so can we move forward?
Yes.
So now what we have looking at us is text that is white in a bounding box that is black. but you know our 100 pixels is too big, so reduce yours to what matches. The height is how we controlled it. So if I try 50 and see what 50 gives me, 50 is fair enough.
Okay, there's something I want to talk about. When I click go live
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and then I leave it to go back to VS Code.
Mm-hmm.
On my VS Code, it shows like port
Ports, yes,
500,
yes.
and then I have to click it again for it to go
No.
back to VS. And then, but like it opened like a lot of tabs on my browser.
See, you only need to go live once. The next time, just switch to your browser. Just change the tab,
Like,
just
is
switch
that
to your
okay?
browser. Yes, that's how it works. Once you go live once, it means it's already live. So once you make any changes on your VS Code, just switch to the browser and it will reflect.
So I don't.
You don't need to keep clicking on the go live button.
Yeah, we should just go directly to the tab that we've opened.
Yes, the tab that is already open, and then you don't even need to refresh. Just save in VS Code, go to the browser and check.
Okay. Once I save the VS Code, it will like
Automatically, yes, reflect on the browser. Good. Now, in our lecture yesterday, in the live lecture yesterday, Neo explained that margin is space outside a box, while padding is the space inside the box.
Inside box.
Yeah. If you check where your quiz on important facts are, it's practically touching the top. Correct?
Yes.
So to bring it down a little bit, to sit somewhere in the middle, just like the picture put it, would have to be able to add margin and padding to it. If you use margin, it will shift the entire black space downwards. But if you use padding, it will only shift the text. Now, if the height of the entire box is 50, it means I should be able to shift it downwards by like 20 to bring it towards the middle. So, padding. Now, you have 4 of them. Padding top, padding left, padding right, then padding bottom. If you want to choose them individually, you'd have to select each one and put a value. But if you choose just padding, you're allowed to type the 4 values. That means for top, left, right, bottom. So if I choose only padding without indicating if it's padding top or bottom, I'm allowed to say 20 pixels. It means that 4 of them will become 20 pixels. That means top, left, right, bottom will be assigned 20 pixels. That's if I put only one value. Correct? If I put 2 values, let's say 20 pixels, then 10 pixels, it means the first value belongs to top and bottom. The second value belongs to left and right. Is that understood? Hello, are we still together?
Yeah.
So if I put a value like this, padding, 20 pixels, 10 pixels, it means I'm referring to adding 20 pixels to the top and the bottom, and then 10 pixels to the left and right. Because I am specific to, I just want to put that text in the middle. So I use padding top, because that's the one that concerns me. Then I say 20 pixels. If you check, it should have shifted the text downwards a little bit.
Okay.
And then if you take note, it increases the size of the container, because it has just added 20 pixels to the existing 50 pixels, making it a total of 70 pixels. So if you want to reduce the size but still maintain it being in the middle, you'd have to go change the size of the height. Let me shut this down to 30. And I see this. So I can take this down to 10. And I have something like this.
It's only this padding I've missed a bit because I lost network.
You didn't miss anything.
Hmm?
You didn't miss anything.
Okay, so let me just do this padding. Padding. What does this padding do? Sorry.
It gives you a space between the bounding box, which is header, and the text on the inside. So that text that says quiz on important facts will shift away from the box by 10 pixels. By box, I'm referring to that black space header.
Yeah, but that black space,
Yeah.
like it covered the whole screen. It's supposed to be like that.
The whole screen.
Yeah.
It went from left to right, yes, but not the entire browser.
Yes. It covered like the beginning of one end to the other.
One end to the other, yes, but still leaving white space under. It still left white space under, did it?
Let me check. No, there's no white space under. It's just like
Check if you have a height of 30 pixels on yours.
Okay, no, my height is still 50.
And that's the height it's showing you.
Okay, it has reduced, but it's still like long.
Yes, long from left to right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to shorten it, if you don't want it to go from left to right, then give it a width.
Okay, should we put width on that height or we can put it anywhere?
Anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So if you do a width of like 700 pixels, it comes to the side. Width 700 px, then you get something like that.
Okay, but it's no more center aligned.
Which one is not center aligned?
The like it reduced.
Yes, it reduces to one side.
Yes, like it's
Okay,
like not on one side.
You still want it to come to the middle?
Yeah, like I thought it was supposed to be in the middle.
And I'm looking at the design that was given to us.
Okay, well let me check.
It's either they use the entire page or they screenshotted just one section. I asked the question in the Slack group. She said anyone works. That you can do it small or use the whole page. Yeah. So
Okay,
whichever one works.
It's on one side.
Yeah, I would prefer you remove the width so that it uses the entire width of the page.
Okay, but like the whole thing will just be unnecessarily long.
Don't worry. The center one, you know how you can test what's happening? If you minimize your browser, that one that is unnecessarily long, when you minimize the browser, it continues being in the center.
Okay.
When you minimize the browser, it still stays in the center no matter how small it is.
Okay.
Because eventually when you are submitting, you have to put your code on one side of your screen, then put the value, the result on the other side. That means minimizing the browser, so you should still have it in the center of your browser.
Okay. Is this one? Are we submitting this one as a screenshot?
That's what the solution is. Screenshot.
Okay. All right. So
Okay, so the next thing is the main page.
that's on HTML, right?
Yes, the main page itself. After that heading, the one under, there's a section under. It means we're done with this one that says header. If you feel the text size is too small, you know where to change it already. Font size. If you feel the box is too small, change it from the height.
Okay. Oh, this is actually
I used front size 30, so because 30 was like just
Big enough.
better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was not big enough. It was
Okay, so this, I would go after the closing tag for header and then create a space and use main. Since they say make use of semantics, if not, divs, that's what you'll be seeing me type.
main. Okay.
So here I would have the question, I would have the options, then I'll have the button.
Where main is, right?
Yes, inside main, I would have 3 different sections. The question, the options, and the button. That's the next and previous question.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Okay, wait, sorry. So this part now,
Yeah.
this style.css part,
Yeah.
the stuff we all wrote here was just for the header.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's making sense. It's beginning to make more sense. Okay.
Okay, so let's move to the contents of main.
Yeah.
Now, I talked about 3 selectors, ID, class, and tag. The one we have just used now is a tag selector because it connects the header tag to the CSS. Now, the next one I want to use is main. But let's put what we want to put inside first. So the first thing that would, this main that we just created now, I'll eventually come and style it, but let's put some content in it first.
Okay.
So I'll use a H2. Now the thing about Emmet is you don't need to type the tag. Don't start by typing the open angular bracket. Just type the tag name. So if it's H2, I'll just type H2.
So we're using H2.
Yes, H2 or H3 or H1. So when I do H2 and press the enter key, the entire tag comes.
Okay.
Now the question there says, which of the following is a JavaScript package manager? Which of the following is a JavaScript package manager. Okay, I have there. Yes. Package.
Manage. Okay, we don't need the question tag and everything.
Yeah, I need it since it shows there. If it's showing, we need it.
And I think this A2, won't it be too bold?
Don't worry, we would control the boldness.
Okay.
So we have H2. That is
Is everybody getting it? Because it's only me and Pearl like that is talking. Everybody on the same page.
It's because I don't have my system with me. So I'm trying to use code for now.
Okay.
Oh,
But every
okay.
other person, are you with us?
Zainab, P said
Hey.
is at work.
Yeah, pieces at work.
I
So
can't.
they are replying. It looks like they are at work, so they can't talk, but they're still following
He said
in spirit.
Okay.
Okay, so here we have H2, and then we need to style the H2. I could easily come to CSS and type H2 to start styling it. But the thing is this, if it's a complete website, the page probably have multiple H2s. Probably have 1001 H2s to deal with. It means that everything you set for this one would affect every other H2. Now, instead of that, I'll create a class and then attach it to main. The name of the tag is main, but I want this main to be identified as a different thing on my CSS page. So on my CSS document, I'll put a dot, full stop, and then say, let's say main style. Then give a space and do H2. Put the curly brace, press the enter key, and I have something like this.
Are we supposed to put that main style?
That main
Can you
style
tell me?
could be anything. It could mean anything to you. You can use any name you want, but you can't repeat the one that's already been assigned before. So I can't type header. So dot main style.
Sorry, come again. What are you saying?
Now I'm trying to style that tag called main, right? The same way we styled header.
The following the JavaScript unit of it.
Yes. The same way we styled that header, I want to style the main tag. Remember, the main tag is the one that holds the H2. Yeah? So if I just type H2 and start styling, it will affect every instance of H2 in my document. And I don't want that. So what you're seeing here that says dot main style, give a space, H2, is a compound selector. It simply says all H2 inside the main style section.
Okay, while the other is tag selector.
Yes. Whenever you see a dot before the name of the selector, it's called the class selector. When you see the hashtag, before the name of the selector, that's an ID selector. Yes, a full stop.
Okay. Main style.
Come again.
Whenever there is a dot before the name of the selector, It mustn't be main style. It could be anything. Once there's a dot in front of it, it means it's a class selector.
When you say it's a class selector, what do you mean?
Class selectors can be reused as many times as possible.
Okay.
I can call it up anywhere on my document.
What?
Let me show you how to call it up. Let me show you how to link it to a particular tag.
Okay.
Inside the main tag, the opening main tag, if I give a space and say class,
Yeah.
then my class is main style.
Okay, this main style you typed on CSS.
Yes.
Okay.
So apparently I have just linked both of them.
Okay. Okay. So we should do that.
Yeah. Now let me show you another way to achieve this. I could easily say, let me do that under here. I could easily say div, give a space class. Or let me use main. If I have
Okay, so instead of B to B, the H2 is now main style.
no, instead of that H2,
The open tag there.
instead of the H2 to be the selector that I'm changing the values. I'm changing the values of every H2 that is inside the main
yeah,
tag.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So any other H2 will not copy that style, because this style belongs to only the H2 inside this main tag that I've identified with a class of main style.
Okay, okay, inside the
Okay,
main
like this now, is this still class selector?
This class selector, right, for the main tag is captured here. And then every H2 inside that particular
Main
tag,
tag.
yes, every H2 inside will be affected.
So anywhere inside the main tag that
That there's a H2,
system sees it
yes,
will apply main style to
it
it.
will apply whatever we have added now as the values.
Main style. Okay.
If we had something to do with, if we needed something to do with the main style, let's say we wanted to give the main style a height, a width, a color, we would have just done it here and say dot main style, then start adding the code. But because we don't have anything to do with the main style, we just want the H2 to be affected. That's why I did not assign anything to main style. I just went straight to main style H2.
Okay. Oh, I just understand what you're saying.
You don't understand, or you just did?
I understand now.
Okay.
So assuming we still have a lot to write under that main class.
Yes, if we had a lot to
This main style.
add, we can start doing it on main.
Okay.
So if I went to the header now and added another H2, it will not take the style that we just created, because this style is meant for all H2s inside the main style.
Okay.
So we open the variable for it.
Yes, for H2, and then of course their text is in the middle. Yes, their text is in the middle, so I'll do the same text align, center. If you check, H2 gives it a bigger size. H2 makes it a bit bolder. So if I want to get rid of that boldness, I'll use font weight. I either enter a value or I'll use the pre-optioned ones, lighter, to remove that boldness from it. Then I as well want to change the size, because sometimes the H1 to H6 is not exactly the size I want. I want a size in between.
Okay.
So I can do the same. We're already familiar with the font size. Let me say 25px. Now, quick question. The space between your H2 and the header, is it comfortable for you? If you check the browser, the space between
Oh,
the H2,
okay. Yeah, there should be a paragraph, right?
no, not paragraph, but the space you are seeing right now, is it comfortable? Is it something you are okay with?
Ada,
I'm checking.
because I'm not with my system.
Oh, okay. Now, if the space is not something you would want to, if you are okay with, all you need to do is simply add padding to your work.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah, let's check up a minute. So
It's okay. Mine
so
is
under
okay.
main style, we're doing text align and blah 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 blah.
Text align, font width, font size. So if that space is enough, fine. But I'm looking at the document now and the space is just something a little bit bigger than the regular space. It means
Because
you
you use
add,
25.
no, I'm talking about the space between the H2 and that black section, the header section.
It's not much for me. I don't know why. It's just there. Like
It's
it's
if
very
it's
close
good,
to each
if it's
other.
good, fine. If the space is not enough, use a padding top.
Font size.
Use a padding top, then it pushes it down.
Yeah. So control. More.
What happened?
So my
No,
screen is
it's
showing.
okay. Should we show you? Should we show you? Can we show you?
Yes. Okay.
Uh, Pearl, can you show? Let me start, Abby. Then Pearl, you show yours, right?
Oh, yeah, now start. Let me go and join in my system.
Can you see my screen? Can you see it?
Yes. So your size needs to increase a little bit. The size of the text, the H2 text, needs to increase a little bit. And then the space between them needs to shift.
Between the wordings.
Yes. So padding top to shift it down a little bit.
Okay. I'll stop sharing now.
Now I'm looking at the question. Which one of these is a JavaScript? It's bigger.
Okay.
It's quite bigger than, it's almost touching the two edges of their own screenshot.
Okay. Let me get that done now. Thank you. You see? It was better just sharing screen.
Okay, so are we moving forward? Is anybody else sharing screen?
I'm trying to share my screen, but for some reason, not happening.
It's companion mode.
Let me check from card.
It's companion mode that's holding you back. One of your two accounts should be the one to share.
So how many pixels should I give
So the padding.
to the padding pop? Yeah.
Okay,
Usually,
are you my screen?
no, not yet.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
You're seeing my screen?
Yes, yes. You've not aligned your H2.
Oh,
Abi,
oh,
no.
the what?
You've
The
not aligned it
H2.
in the center.
No, I thought he said there's no point. You mean like the quiz on important facts, right?
No.
No.
Which of the
Yes,
following
which
is
of the
a
following is a
JavaScript?
JavaScript manager?
Let me
It means that on the CSS there is no text aligned.
on the CSS. No, there is read.
And it's a big
For
column.
H2, check the one that says main style H2.
Let me check. Can you see my screen? VS Code screen.
Not yet.
It has text align center, so I don't know why.
Can anyone see her VS Code screen? But I can't.
No. I can't see
I
them.
was still seeing the browser, so you still have to stop
Can
the.
you,
Yeah. Mm. Oh, okay. Yeah, calm down. The font size is small. Let's see. 30. Let's do 20.
that is hanging.
These are illustrations. Make these
Can we move forward?
I'll show you mine now.
Okay.
I think I added padding already. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Better now. You still need to increase the size of the text, the H2.
Right. Okay. I increased this to 25. I don't want it to be more than the header. So
But you know, in their own design, the picture itself, the question is bigger than the header.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. The question is way bigger than the header.
Yes.
So you have to change your mind on that font style. The font style for the H2 has to be bigger than the font style for the header text.
how about now?
Be better.
Ah, metal.
Okay. Okay, mine is in the center now.
Okay. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to share my entire screen, not just the VS Code, so that we can be seeing the result immediately and check if it matches with yours. Let me share my entire screen. Okay, so I have, this is the work, this is the design that was given to us. You can see the size of this is bigger than the size of this one. And this is currently where we are. Where is it? Let Let me see, close this and go live again. Okay. So this is why I was saying that we needed to, by the time you minimize and zoom out, no matter how much you zoom out, you still have this.
Okay.
Okay. That's
Like
that's that's
they're using phone or system.
Yes. Okay, so we're done with the H2. If you still need to do any other changes to your H2, you can run through some of the styles available. You can give it a color, change the color, do any other thing you want to do. But
Before closing it.
it's already closed automatically. This is where
when
we're still working on
sorry,
this
when we're
particular
taking
one.
the screenshots, right? We're supposed
Yeah.
to show both the coding for HTML and CSS, right?
Yes.
But the image, the other image is definitely going to cover
No,
CSS.
this
So
is
how do
this is how I'll show it. I'll side this and side this. So if you notice now I have my design on one side and I have HTML, CSS on the other side.
Um,
my guy say now
like I'm not even using system now. Like I'm just removing everything.
I will go do this one, I beg.
But you saw what I just did just now.
No, we don't
Is
see
it
him, I beg.
minimize or what? Maximize.
This is full scale, right?
Eh,
Yeah.
I'll just drag it from the top. I'm still holding it. Drag it to one side. You will see one small window that pops up. Immediately that small window pops up, you leave it. Then it will want you to snap another one to the other side.
okay. Make we try him
So
now.
if this was
Uma try am, make we know.
this was full screen, this was full screen. Immediately I drag one to the edge, it will ask me which other one do you want to side? I'll choose the one I want and then it will put them side by side.
I did try drag am, you know they drag. This you know they drag.
Which one are you dragging
Ada, they
first?
follow am o. As
Which
it
one
come to
which
your
one are you
system.
dragging first?
I'm trying to drag this my VS code.
VS Code. Where are you picking?
Yeah. I'm picking
Anywhere on the menu tab that has nothing written on it. Like where the name of your VS Code is and the name of your document
Okay.
is. You can drag it.
So we are
Immediately
going to
you
drag.
touch the left, immediately your mouse touches that left side. You see a little thing that pops up. You see that transparent shape that pops up.
are we supposed to right click?
No, left click and drag.
Oh Jehovah me.
It's still not working.
I'm on the thing will be work. You didn't minimize then drag.
What?
Mine is working.
You click and hold it.
Minimize.
No, don't minimize. No. Even while it's maximized, click and drag it, it starts following you. Have you already gotten to this part where it starts following you?
Yeah. Let's.
Then just slide
Anywhere
it
on
to
the
the
screen that
side.
is not pickable.
Anywhere you don't
Click
have
on
the
the top side.
on the top, yes.
My God, my battery is going down.
It's not dragging. Let's continue. We'll figure that out later. It's
Okay.
not dragging right now.
Yeah, you're using
Figure
a
it out,
Windows
don't
system,
worry.
right?
Yeah. Dale.
Okay. And you've not been able to even pick it up like this,
all.
the way I'm holding it right now. Don't worry, let's
Just
continue.
as if you want to highlight the way you hold it and drag it.
I'm just seeing your hand whenever I try to
That's
drag.
what it means. You are going to a place where it needs to click. Okay, let's do this. When you come to the VS Code icon, what does it show you?
Nothing.
Nothing, Abby.
Yes.
Then click and hold it. Click and hold it.
Okay.
Then move it around. It should be following you around right now.
So for me, for my system,
Yeah.
it's not for me it's enter and click. It's not thingy.
I know you're not using a mouse. You're using the trackpad.
Yeah.
So you pin down the left click for the trackpad. Pin down the left click of the trackpad. Use your thumb to pin it down. Then use the other hand to move it around.
No, I can't find the window key.
No, I'm talking about the VS Code icon itself on your screen.
No, I've dragged it now. I'm now looking for the window screenshot where it's supposed to come out.
Okay, the aligning of the screen. You want to add that aligning. Just take it to the left side. Just drag it to the left side until your mouse touches the left side of the screen. One imaginary transparent triangle or rectangle will pop up. Then leave it.
Okay.
Immediately it shows up, leave it. Then it would keep that one on the left. Then ask you which one do you want to keep on the right. Okay, let's continue. You worked?
Madro. In fact, there's supposed to be an award.
He used 5 hours to do.
Ah, nice. Drag me. No, drag me. Drag me.
Now the second sleep before you ask how I do myself.
Let's continue. The next part is the radio buttons, the options. So what I would have here is to create a section. Remember I said once it's selected or once Emmet gives you an option, just press the enter key. I'm still inside our main tag. I'm still inside the main tag.
Sorry. So after the H,
Yeah?
after H2, that's the output section.
Yes. I'm starting a new section. That new section will house the radio buttons. Are we good?
My laptop battery is low, so okay, yeah.
For this particular place, it is an input type.
One moment, Kingsley.
Okay?
That header,
Yeah.
what's the difference between header and H1?
Okay, the header is just a semantic tag in HTML5. The header is a semantic tag that says, okay, this particular section is the header of a document or header of a page, while H2 is just for text.
I mean H1.
H1, H2, H1 to H6 is just for text. Header is a container that can house anything.
Okay, so header itself does not show when you.
It doesn't style
go to
anything.
your-
It doesn't style anything. It's just a container.
Okay.
For example, when I do H2, I cannot just put pictures inside or put something else inside other than text. But on the header container, I can add anything I want to add.
Okay.
So are we moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is an input type that I'm trying to get across. That radio button would take an input. So it's not just a button, but a button that takes an input. So I'll do input. Emmet helps me complete the other ones, but it is not complete yet because I have type as radio instead of text.
Radio is that round stuff that's
Yes.
inside those
Yes. Are we there?
Yeah.
I'm still inside the tag. I'll give it a name.
You give us what?
I'm giving that particular input a name. So after radio with the semicolon with the quotation mark closing, I'll give a space and type name. If Emmet shows you, press the enter key and you're about to enter the name option. So I can say option A. That means the first option. Since there are 3 radio buttons, so one will be option A, the other one will be option B, the other one will be option C. Now, because of future programming, because of the future ways to interact with this particular question, to have a question bank or a database where the questions come from, I'll need to know what the value will be. So I'll choose a value. And what our first value? Our first value is Node.js.
Node.js.
So I'll do node.js. This is not exactly what is going to display on the browser. This is just going to be the value that can be stored in the database.
Necessary we put it in the value.
For this our task, it's actually not necessary that we put values.
What?
For this task, which is just presentation, we're just showing it. It's not necessary we put a value.
So we can just leave option A because from
Yes,
Node.js.
name. No, you can just leave name, option A, that's all.
So we can just do what?
You can just leave that name equals option A.
Okay. Then so we don't have to put value.
Yes.
Just Node.js.
Yes, you don't have to. Where we need to.
You don't put value.
So
Take the value.
you just remove this entire one and leave it this way. You're allowed to leave it this way.
Okay.
For clarity, I'm going down to put label. So my label for option A is what?
Type of the radio.
Okay, I think someone has been wanting to join. That's why it's vibrating.
What's that noise?
Either someone's phone is ringing or something.
Oh, this guy is not.
But we've gotten this, Abi.
No.
Where are you currently?
I'm at option A, like the name equals option A. So we'll put, okay, the label and tag under it.
Yes, under, just type label. Usually, because of Emmet, I don't start typing the Angular brace. I just type what needs to be inside. And then the Emmet abbreviation just fills the other space. So label for option A. What's on this place? Label for option A is A space column space Node.js. So
So
it's
for option
A space column space node.js.
label for option
So this particular one, when you save and check, it gives you the first radio button. Even though for now it will not look okay because we're yet to style it.
okay. But the colon is too far from A.
It's too far from A.
Like on the
That's how it is on
remove
the.
the space.
That's actually how it is on the work.
Oh, okay.
Are you seeing
Oh,
it? That there's a space after the column, a space before the column. So I don't know why they chose that way, but that's how it is. Currently, this is what ours will look like.
Like the question is actually which one of these is the JavaScript manager. So maybe you guys should go and correct the H2 curriculum.
No. Since it's a design, it will mean they'll have to redesign and then start uploading again. Just leave it like that. Now all you need to get the other ones is to copy, paste, and edit. What you need for the other two is to copy this, paste, and edit it.
Okay, we should copy from input.
From input
My
to the.
button is not like yours.
Yeah. Okay, copy paste, then just remove option B.
Option A to option B, yes, like that. You say the button is not like mine?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Mine is long, like it's very long. Let me show you. Can I show you?
Yes. Okay. Check, show your code. Does it say radio? Does the option say radio? Okay, yeah. The correction starts from type. Your type will be equal in double quotes radio. That's the first correction you make. Are you making that change now? Ada, are you still there?
Network is probably bad.
Yeah, that's true.
What's B again? Please, does anybody know what B is?
Option B is
TypeScript, right?
TypeScript, yes. Zainab says, does it need the dot since it's a tag selector and not... Yeah, I answered that already.
Sorry, can you talk about that tag and class selector?
Okay, I mentioned that there are three types of selectors: ID, class, and tag. Tag selector corresponds to tags. So anytime you see H2, H1, body, and then there's a style, it means it's capturing the tags themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, so if I go to CSS, I type H1 and then I put blue, text center align, height 30, font size 30. Anytime it sees H1
Changes
anywhere, it changes it.
Yeah.
That's tag selector. Then class selector. Any place I identify the class, I'll give it a name by myself. It doesn't have to be a tag name. It could be anything.
Style.
Yes, like main style.
Sorry, my options are lining, like they are going straight. They're not going under the other.
Yes, I'll show you how to deal with that.
Okay.
So back to the...
But you get what I mean,
Yes,
right?
I understand, yes. Now back to the selectors. The class selector is reusable. So I can go to header and say class main style.
Tag.
The class selector. Tag selector, you can only use it once. Can you hear me, Michael?
Yes, I'm here.
Once you
I can
use the
hear you.
tag selector once, you can't reuse it again.
All right.
If
And
you record it again, it will replace it. Yes, with class, I can reuse it as many times as possible. Then with ID,
ID selector.
yes, with ID, I'm to apply it to a particular section once. I'm to identify a particular, let's say header now. I have two headers. I can identify one of the headers with a different name so that I can style it differently.
Okay.
So now that I have...
Section also an ID.
No, these ones are names of containers. They are semantic names to identify different areas of a web page. Header, main, section, article, footer. All these are semantic
I should
names.
use
Okay.
the break
I
line
understand.
part.
Perfect. Break line. BR.
Okay, so and that should be like after Node.js label,
After
right?
the final label, yes.
Okay.
So if you want to break, just do BR. And that's it.
Okay. Let me check it.
After the label, BR.
Perfect.
And the last one to BR. So when I
Yeah.
save and check what we're working with, it should be like this. I've not edited mine. I just copied and pasted. So I'll change option A here to B, and then here to C. Then here is TypeScript. B and C. My C is NPM. Save and check. I have this. Now the task is bringing it to the center.
CSS, right?
CSS, yes. The CSS, if we want to use tag, we'll just type section. But that would mean that that would be the only section in this document. You understand that
What?
statement, right?
What did you say?
If I went to CSS now and just typed section and start styling, it means that that's the only section existing in that document, in that website.
Okay.
But because this section can just be one of many sections, I have to be able to identify it with something specific. So let's test out the ID selector. So right here under the main style H2, I'll put a hashtag and say radio button BTN. If I want to be explicit, radio button section.
Radio. Can we write these things in full?
Yes, don't leave a space. You can type the whole thing. So if you prefer it in full, it will be radio button section. I'll put the curly brace and then move on. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay, now the first thing I need to care about.
Typing radio button section. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think we are trying to style the section part.
Yes, that section of the radio button.
Yeah, I get. But how does this radio button section, how would it identify this section on the HTML?
We'll go there and fix it. We'll go there and link two of them.
Okay, links, alright.
Okay, so for this particular session, first of all, font size has to change because this is too small. So I can say font size. For the text. Yes, for the texts. So font size, let me just start with 20 pixels first. I would either increase it or reduce it. Then every other thing is pretty much the same. The colors, the font weight might be a bit lighter than usual, but every other thing works as it should be. So I'll just leave that as it is. Now, let me show you how to push things without actually using that align center. Because if we typed text align center right now, what it will do is it will put the texts in the center, thereby not aligning it to the left. I just saved this text align. I just did text align center for that same radio button. I'll show you what it will look like when we go to the browser. But before we go to the browser, on that section, you know I've created CSS for that section, but we're yet to link. You can't what?
Yes. I can't figure it out. You have to pin it on your you have to pin it.
Oh, okay.
Should I continue?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, go.
Okay, so on this section, I'll have to come inside the section, give a space, and then type ID. Then the radio button section.
Someone is trying to join. It says you are not accepting its request.
Okay, well, I don't actually have any requests waiting for approval here.
I think he's even joining automatically.
Like, I don't see any requests for, except he's clicking the wrong link. You should use the last link, not the first one.
Oh,
I have issue though.
Which
Hey,
issue
my
is that one?
TV is on the one line. It's not one after the other.
What I'm missing is this BR.
Oh, okay.
Have you done the linking? Section ID, radio button.
Yeah.
Now let me show you what we currently have. You know this is not what we need, even though it's supposed to be in the center, but not like this.
See, that was because we use text align center.
Yes, that's because we use text align center, which is not the correct way to go.
Oh, makes sense. Okay.
So I'll get rid of the text align center. We're using a different CSS value. Or attributes, that's the proper word. Should I continue?
Yeah, should.
Okay. So I need to be able to push everybody. I told you I was going to show you how to move things around. So if I used margin, let's say margin left, and I said give me margin left of 300 pixels. If I save it and check what's happening to this, you can see where it currently is. So in some websites you see someone who you don't actually want the text to go to the center. So you're not aligning anything to the center. You just want it to shift a little bit away from the wall or from the edge or from the container's edge. So you use margin, which is going to shift it from the outside. If you use padding, it's going to shift it from the inside. That's what that will achieve. But the difficulty in using this, for example, if I want to bring it to the center, I can say 500, and it's almost in the center. Let me give it 1,000. That one becomes too much. 700, and it's in the center. But check out what happens when I minimize, and then I keep reducing the size of this, and the 700 still holds. So now it becomes a problem because it's just margin left. So I'm going to get rid of this margin left. I want the content to totally fit. That's why I'm going to be using fit content. So I'll say width, instead of a normal value, I'll use fit content. Now, this tells that particular section to always use the full width of the page, not specifying a particular size, which will create a box for itself that is not responsive, or fit content will make it responsive, but then margin. Now, instead of margin left alone, I want margin top and bottom to be 0, but left and right to be auto. Does that make sense? Are we still together?
We are, oh my God, we are. We are here. I'm here.
Does it make sense what I just said? Thinking about it. Remember I told you that margin and padding, they have 4 values. Margin top, margin right, margin bottom, margin left. That's how it counts, clockwise. Top, right, bottom, left. If you enter 4 values. If you enter 2 values, it means top and bottom 1 value, left and right a second value. So now I've given them 2 values, 0 and auto. Auto means automatic. 0 for top and bottom, that means don't disturb the section, don't increase the size or reduce it. But for left and right, automatically place equal values on both sides. So I should have something like this. That even if I minimize, there's equal value on the left side and on the right side. So it's permanently in the center. That's all for that particular section. What's remaining now is the 2 buttons below, previous and next question.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. We are still here. I stopped preparing everything. If you got what he said in that radio button section with the style, raise your hand.
You know silence actually means that they've gotten it already. Zainab says, can you zoom your screen? Okay.
You see? After this thing, make all of us just go share one bottle.
Are you the one that is closing the brackets,
The curly
curly
braces.
brackets, or automatically?
It
when
does
you
it
enter?
automatically.
Yeah.
It does it automatically.
Guys,
You
oh,
enter, right?
Does it mean every time this thing pauses, someone is trying to request? Well, I'm hearing how.
Sometimes
It's
it's
my
just
phone,
someone's
sorry.
phone, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my phone.
Don't know if your vibration.
is your screen still?
After this, you will share cold coke for us to sort out things.
Let's deal with the last
It
section.
makes sense.
Think still sharing your screen?
Yes.
Michael, they've gone
I
to
give.
repair. They've asked you. They've gone to say check the announcement box. Just check the announcement box. They've
Eh,
said don't ask people to DM me if they have any issue relating to the course. Please note that it has closed. Reopen the issue related to the classes starting closing. Report any of your coordinators. If you want to report harassment or other sensitive issues, you can DM me. Call my attention to this channel. I hope this helps. I cannot respond to all DM, so sending me an
Um,
angry does not solve anything.
Kingsley,
Yeah.
Kingsley,
I can hear you.
your your screen is on the what they call the browser, right?
Yes.
Okay, now it's on the VS Code.
Yeah.
Sorry, my laptop died, so I went to turn on the gen. Okay, so what did I miss?
Where did you stop?
Where are you?
I entered that section ID equal to
Yeah.
radio button settings.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so what else?
That means you've not done the width, fit content, the margin, zero, and auto.
No, okay, let me do it now.
Okay. I just hope when we get to the live classes for CSS that they will at least touch Bootstrap.
Content
Bootstrap now.
margin.
What's Bootstrap?
It's a framework for web that's very easy to use. CSS. All these codes we're writing for button, we don't need it. Bootstrap will take care of it. Should we move forward?
Margin.
We have a class by 7:30. I hope everybody's aware.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the CSS class.
Python scripts
Yeah.
class.
Python script?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Python something.
Python script.
I missed that one.
Introduction to Python script.
Okay. Introduction. Wow.
Ada, have you done the assignment on Python?
Which one?
And what change am I supposed to see on my what you are? I even thought maybe you locked it down went off. Sorry, what change am I supposed to see on my screen after doing all this stuff?
Try minimizing that screen and notice that the text still remains in the center. The options still remain in the center.
Options. No, mine don't. They're still on the left.
They're still on the left.
Yeah.
Your margin says 0 and auto, not 0 pixel.
Yeah, 0. Then auto.
Something must be missing somewhere. Please share your screen. Let's debug.
Let me check. Check on section ID. Let me share my screen number so you can see.
Okay.
Because no, they didn't though.
still
They
waiting.
said that we're going to get out a live project. I wonder what would they are they the ones that will let us know what we would build, or would they be like
It might just be do what you want to do, then
like
submit.
oh, oh okay. Michael, have you were you able to crack your head down over the calculator thing?
Yeah, I had to go through it while I was at work today. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I'll still doing it tonight.
What did you say?
I
Are you
said, are we
guys
still going to do the for the calculator
Yeah, after the
tonight?
class. Yeah, after the class.
okay? Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so am I doing something wrong?
The post radio button section, radio button section. I can't
Yeah.
see.
What
Yeah.
issue? What issue are you facing?
Let's see the browser.
My have you gone live?
Let's see the browser.
Okay. I'm having an issue sharing my whole screen. I can only share some tabs at
Share just some part of it.
a
Okay.
time.
I
Did you hear
understand.
me?
Yes, I understand.
Mm, I can only share one tab at a time. I want to share my whole screen, but I can't.
You have to
See,
stop sharing and then try to share. You'll see the options where it asks you to pass. So you choose whole the whole.
oh, God, you know. Here, wait, let me show you guys my browser. Are you guys seeing my browser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at this stuff is still on the left. It's not in the center. That's what is supposed to be at the center, right?
Yes. Go back to the code. Let me see. Adjust the margin. Remove the one that says auto first. Adjust the margin to 100. Let me see the effect on the browser. Let's start knowing where
I
the
should
issue is. Remove auto, remove the 0, adjust it to 100. Just do 100 px. Then save and let's see what it looks like on the browser. Okay, so now go back to VS Code.
okay.
Use undo to get back what you are supposed to get. Use undo to go back to what was there before. Control Z to get back to where it was before. Continue with the Control Z, yeah. Then go to the HTML and save. Click on the HTML, save. Click on the CSS, save. Then back to the browser.
there now.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Pro energy, your energy, and that's some period.
Now the last part of this is the button, the other button. So
Yeah.
we can have a different section for it or add it to the main section, but it's better we have a different section for it. So I'll say section. And on this section, I'll just give it an ID of,
Like another section under section.
yes. You know, sections can
Why?
be as many. It's just to identify that that place is different.
Okay.
We could
But
have been
there's
using
different.
sections and articles, but this is not just an article. There are different sections of the same website.
Okay. But
Under this section, what are we having?
Another section.
Like, what is the section containing? What are we trying to teach?
Those
ID.
next and that previous question, next question.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Isn't this okay, you have to open this thing. Okay. ID of the button container. Button container.
Are we good? So right inside this particular section, I'm going to be doing a button. Notice the other time we used input. This time around we're using button. Are we still together? Network.
Wow.
I think my network had a little issue. Are we here?
Yep.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, so the former session we used an input, but this other side we're using the button tag.
Okay, so wait, after under section you have to put button tag.
Yes.
Okay. Under section. Um, what are you doing?
Just ordering it, just arranging it properly. Now buttons have attributes, right? But let's deal with the content of the buttons first before we go changing the attribute. So the content of this button says previous question. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
So I'll copy and paste this one and change this to next question. If I save and check out what the browser says, I'd have this two. Previous question, next question. So what's remaining is to style it properly. And like I said, buttons have attributes. So I'd have to expand the button to add all the attributes.
Please, can you go to your browser? Let me see something. Okay, there we go. We're talking.
Yeah, side by side.
Yeah.
So the attribute of the first button, I'll just click in the button, give a space, and then some of the attributes are type. The type is button. I give a space.
Wait, inside that same line that has previous button.
Yes. The opening tag for button.
Yeah.
I'll give a space, type, select button. Then other attributes include name, just like we have it on input. So I can have name, and the name here is the same thing, previous question.
Button type. Button type.
Type is button, then the name is previous question. Now the reason why we use name is that what is showing on the button on your browser is just a label. It is not how that button is identified. The button is identified by its name and not the label on the button.
I don't get you.
The second one now, this one that says next question, right?
Yeah.
The next question there is just a label.
Okay.
It is not what the button is identified with.
Okay. Like, is it what makes it clickable?
No, it's the tag button that makes it clickable. Now, if I have 1,000 buttons and I want to identify each button in a code, I want to say when someone clicks this particular button, go to this page. I can't use that text that says next question that is bordered by the open and close tag. That's just a label. It is the name of the button that's assigned with this attribute that says name. That's the actual name of the button. Let me use an example that will make it more sensible. Now, if this says click to move to the next question, right? The button name can simply be next question or next. So when I want to identify that button in another page, I'll identify it by its name, not by the label that's attached to it. You know, the label just shows on top of the button. The label is this that shows on top of the button. Previous question, that's the label. The name is what you use to identify that button anywhere else. Just that in this particular case, they are the same. I can decide to change this name from previous question to PQ. So the name is PQ.
Okay, so is it picture that'll appear in that box?
No, it's the label that will appear.
No, previous question.
Okay,
This
so
is the
what we are
label.
using
Label.
for the
Yes.
styling.
What we're using for styling is this button. We're going to add a class to it. so that all buttons on this page does not take that value. We'll add a class. But this button has been identified to be the type button to have a name PQ. So there could be a time in my code where I say if button equals PQ, do something else. Or if button PQ, that's identifying a button by its name. So the label is just there to stay on top of the button. Remember what we did with input when we said input type is radio, but the name of the input is option A.
Yes.
And we have option B for the next one, option C for the next one. That's the same thing with this. Each button is identified by a particular name. So let me stick with PQ so that it doesn't confuse anybody. The name of the button is PQ, but the label on top of the button is previous question. It means that I can repeat the same thing for this. Type is button, then name is NQ. Now remember, if I have a lot of buttons, let's say I have another page that has another question, that I've created another button for next question and previous question, I cannot be using the same PQ and NQ. I can then name them PQ2 and Q2. Okay, so we've gotten to the content, or done with the content part of it. CSS part of it would be the one to style the button to look a particular way. So let me create a style for button, but I don't want to use the word button because it's a tag that exists. So I'll use the short form BTL. And I'm putting a dot at the beginning. What does that mean? Putting a dot at the beginning means what?
Class.
A class selector.
Okay.
There's light. Okay. Okay, no, there's no light. I thought they brought the light.
So what we're looking to do now is style it like this.
Yes, check.
A blue background, white text, a box with a little radius at the edge. It is not fully a box. Those are the things we're looking at, and make it clickable. Make it feel like something that clicks.
Yeah, please turn off your mic.
Sorry, guys.
Alright, brother.
So all I need to do is background first. I'm allowed to use background color or background. They'll do the same thing. So background color, we're looking at something near blue. So I'm either using the word blue completely, or I'm using a particular code for blue. There's a particular color of blue that is not so blue. So choose your own hex code to match the blue you're looking for.
Margin. The BTL.
This for styling the button, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Our regular text color is black if we're not changing it. So we'll have to be able to add color white.
Wait. Regular text color for what?
For a normal web page, for anything HTML,
Oh,
is black. So I have to change the color of whatever is in that button to white.
that's like that is that the background color?
The color of the text will become white, while the background of the button
Will be black.
will be blue.
Blue.
This is what we're trying to achieve, the blue.
Oh, okay, that
The
okay.
blue and the white, yeah. Currently, nothing will be working on the browser because we're yet to add that class to this particular guy.
Color. Okay, let me see one.
Now, what else do you think we need for the button?
Wait, my stuff is not working.
It's not moving because you're yet to add that class here.
No, not moving. Like the colors are not changing.
I'm sorry for
On your HTML, have you
the
linked it?
radio.
Yes.
That
Wait,
button that is clicking, is
Yeah.
it there automatically or we are going to assign one?
Just click. They're
please,
all
where are we
radio
supposed
buttons.
to put it on the HTML?
It's already there. Okay.
For this button, right? This new button we're doing now,
Yeah.
anywhere
No, no,
inside
no,
the
no.
button. No, I'm answering the other question. Anywhere inside the button, you can put it after this name or before the type.
What we are linking is that .btn, right?
Yes. So I can see
Okay.
class BTN. So immediately I add the class BTN, you can see the previous questions that's changing.
Okay.
So all I need to do is repeat the same thing here, class BTN. So this is what it looks like.
Can you go back to your code?
Wow, we have not even started the second assignment. We're still on the first one for the past
Oh,
2 hours.
No
Oh,
cap.
hey, God.
Since almost 1 o'clock.
I swear, since 1:30.
Ah,
What?
thank you, Kingsley. You really tried.
You're welcome.
You have tried though.
With our baby
People
questions,
that
don't
created
mind us.
this. Ah, oh.
But have we gotten to this stage?
Let me check. I've not checked.
Let me save and check. Okay, one has changed for me. Oh, that background color is too blue.
That's why I didn't specify the one you to use. Just change yours to what you want.
did you click? What did you click that brought all these
Just
color?
wait
All
on the
these shades?
color.
Okay.
Whatever color is showing, just go there, wait a little bit, then it pops up. Remember that there's a distinction between the
Mine did
one
not change.
that is plain and the one that the mouse is touching, the hover, the hover effect.
So
Mine is not changing color. Oh, God.
Have you linked
So
this?
girl,
Have you linked this?
okay, no. That's no.
So two of them are changing. Yeah.
Oh,
Moving forward.
Hmm? Yes.
The next thing to do is to specify a height for the button. The width is controlled by the content inside. Because if I take a look at their own, previous question is a bit larger than next question. It's a bit longer, meaning it's the text that controls the size of the button. That's the width of the button. But the height, we have to specify height. So I can say height. Then let me start with 40. Let me start with 40 px. If I start with 40 px, that would make my button look like this. A bit increased in size. Forty is not big enough. 50. This is it. And then not if, we have to get rid of the border, the black dots. So border, none. I'll get rid of the border. While to give it a little bit of a rounded edge, it will be border radius. If I do 100 px, you see that the button becomes circular. So I can say 10. You see the effect of 10, still too much, 5. And I get the desired effect. Now the next thing is to make sure that button is at the center. So what do you think we can use to push it to the center?
Text align center.
Did I miss anything?
No,
Border radius.
we just added border
Okay.
and border radius. Now let's try your text align and see. Text align center, and it moves nowhere. You know why it's moving nowhere?
Because
No?
the you did like the text inside should align, not the whole.
Yes, you just did that the text, previous
Oh, you're
question.
talking of the. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, that would be
The entire button should go to the center.
Please,
okay.
One thing about HTML and CSS, I don't think there's not only one thing that achieves one purpose. There's always going to be multiple attributes that can achieve similar purpose. When we're trying to move the radio button, those radio buttons, we used with fit content. That was how we moved those ones. And then we now use margin, zero, and auto, right? But this BTN is applied individually to the buttons. So you can't come here and start typing that align or fit content. It has to be on the container for the entire buttons. So we had a section named button container that we didn't do anything on CSS. So I can go and bring that up here and say dot button container. So the container that holds the button. And then let me try that with for fit content and do margin
Phil.
0
Please, guys, what are you doing? No,
auto.
get
It's
My
trying
this thing
to
is not
move
changing
the
color.
buttons to the center.
like you guys have made the buttons, the like stuff big. So how did you do that?
Height.
Okay,
Height 50.
okay, okay, okay. Then border radius and width.
Yes, the border radius is the curves at the edge.
Okay. Let me
Oh, I
do
made a
that.
mistake. This is not supposed to be dot since it's an ID, so a hash.
What makes it what like why a dot? Why a hash?
Anytime you see a dot,
Class and
it means we
selector.
call it a class.
Class
Okay, if it's a dot, then it's a class.
It's a class. But
Yes.
Okay, but
selector.
with a
hash is an
hashtag, it's an ID.
okay.
Now I know what was wrong.
What?
I did not put the dots. Nipe is just dot. Oh, the thing was now frustrating me, not making me look as though think whether I'm okay in my head.
Hey God, please.
Just one small thing, just like it's very annoying. Just one very small thing.
That's the thing about debugging.
I think the buttons are too big, Abby. On my eyes.
The text is too small.
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
See the text size is big.
Border.
So make sure you do a font. I didn't do font, so you add font to increase the size of the text.
Did there?
Anywhere. Anywhere.
Border none.
Yes. Because ordinarily it would be a black line around your button.
Okay, border none. Border radius 5.
If you're trying to make a rounded button, our border radius has to be higher. So a rounded button, you can have a border radius of 150 or 100 pixels.
Yes. This
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. No, no, never mind. Never mind.
And the only other thing remaining apart from aesthetics is this line under.
Ah, God. We have to do that one too.
It's footer. Just do a footer, give it a color, and give it a height. That's all.
Sorry, guys. When you click your options,
Yeah.
like each of them clicks. It doesn't move like if you're trying to click one and then move to the other one unclicks. But this one they don't unclick. The three of them clicks and you click three of them.
For yours.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I get.
Okay, so go back. Um, button
I say
container.
after this 3 months course, we go throw passing. I tell you truth.
Is it 3 months or 6 months?
It's 3 months,
They
so
said 3 months.
I don't. I thought I saw 6 months when we are registering.
6 months
Then
now.
3
they're
months.
saying
Oh.
they're saying it's three
For
months
full stack.
though.
if you
You know,
if you came
see,
for the
you know,
registration,
Ah,
For full stack or for front end below.
full stack, oh,
full stack.
3 months.
I think
that's
it's
why
almost all the
that's why
courses
they are
have.
rushing it like this. They say that that's why they are rushing it
See,
like this. That because we can't learn front end and back end at in three
oh,
In
months,
three
so that's why they
months.
are giving us,
I thought I
snap
heard
to.
someone saying it's 6 months.
It's not 6 months. So
I asked
if you read the
someone.
announcement,
I,
check on the announcement.
Okay.
npm. Oh, I've made. Wait, I need to like do a lot of things.
And I'm still doing it.
Abioye, which one are you doing?
KLX.
ALX.
Mm.
What
Please,
does that
can
mean?
you can you go back a little?
What's it called? Software development.
So, sure. Uh, okay, 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 okay. Um,
Yeah, hello.
eh, what?
No, there are background noises like that interfering.
People are talking in the house. Okay, I close the door section.
Thank you.
Button
Michael, are
container.
you
Kingsley, are you
Igbo?
there?
Yes, I'm here.
Michael, you're not Igbo.
Am I what?
You're not Igbo.
I'm Yoruba.
So yeah,
You.
exactly. You don't know how Igbo homes run. Like that is there's always noise. Even when you don't want noise, even when you're trying really hard to prevent
I
noise.
mean,
Um,
then with your parents, I guess. So,
No, it's not just our parents though. That's how they are built. They just like talking.
so,
I see.
we.
Ah, my laptop is going to die soon. Ah, God, we've not done calculator.
Yeah, I've tried now. Me now,
Come and charge you.
I'm just learning without practicing.
Learning.
Wait.
How are you writing?
I've not started writing. My system is down. And I'm trying to do
So
it
you're
on CodePen. Probably because of
oh,
the Google meeting. I've not been able to copy and paste. And it's not working for me.
okay. I
Abi, you
think
know how to
Kingsley is
paste the
still
thing.
this session is still recording,
This
right?
doc
Yes.
type
Yes.
stuff.
Thank you. You say what?
Mhm.
Please, can you go back to your this when you're done?
The
Okay.
what?
Mm. No, like this page.
Yeah.
What's this one?
Hold on. I'm trying to
Page
open something.
directory desktop.
Uh, my previous questions and next question is too close to my options. Do I do padding to bring it down?
Yes.
By the top.
So where do I put the padding? Is it in button container or the BTN?
BTN. No, where you said which one is closed? Okay, yeah, the questions and use margin for the button container
On BTN?
on the button container itself. BTN is for
Yeah,
the individual ones.
I put margin, but it's zero auto.
Okay, zero auto, that's what's putting in the middle. So the zero is top and bottom. So modify that zero. Instead of
You're
zero,
speaking and
you can
speak
put something
plenty
else.
English. I don't even, because I think
I
I'm
swear.
experiencing the same thing.
We are
I
all
swear.
experiencing the same thing.
Standard power level.
We're all looking at this page. Abi, they are too
Yes,
close. They are too close.
yes.
Okay.
Should you do break?
No, no need for break. Yeah, break can still work, but the container itself, this container itself is holding it. I have one section above it that says radio button section, which is this one, right? Then another section under that says button container, which is this one.
Yeah, the last one.
Now margin zero and auto. Zero is for top and bottom. Auto is for left and right.
Can you come again?
This
Zero
margin
is for.
zero is for top and bottom. Auto is for left and
Like
right.
top
Auto
and
is for
bottom
left
of
and right.
the box.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
So it's just 400 there.
If you put 100 here, you alter the
It will move back.
us trying to, yes, control this. Us trying to control, fit this content to the center, because it's that value that makes it happen. So I'll leave this like this and then do a padding top of, let's say, 20 px.
Okay.
That shifts this a little bit away. Please remember to increase the size of your own text. I didn't actually add any font size for this text.
I think, so the font size will be under button container, right?
Who
The
did knock something?
what size?
The font size for
Yes, it could be on the
previous
button
and
container, it could be on the button. The button is the one that holds the text itself, so add it to the button.
okay.
The last
So we're
section
changing the
under,
font size.
yes, the last section under is footer. So under the main, add a footer.
Font size and do 30. Yes.
There's no content on the footer.
Ooh, it's too big. Font is too big. Let me try 20. One day like this, we'll be perfect at this and be faster than we are now. God, I
Yes,
beg.
so
Yeah.
mine is perfect, I think.
That's fine.
So the footer, I've written footer, but it's not showing anything. Is that normal?
Style it
Oh, where is the footer supposed to go,
under the
please?
main.
It's on that main. Will the footer give you that line?
Yes.
Oh,
Are we supposed to class it or just write footer?
I just did footer. There's no need for class. There's only one footer that is in the document.
Oh, okay. Footer.
you're not writing anything in between inside the footer, B.
No, there's no content.
Okay.
So is it color or background color?
Background color. Color is for text.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why they
Text
didn't
and
just attach text to font color. They should have just said font color for font, then background color for containers.
Michael, are you doing it?
Yeah,
Please,
I'm
take it
doing
over
it.
to
I'm
full screen.
actually trying
Like
to
VS full screen.
see how to.
Footer, what are we adding?
There's no content inside the footer, just footer.
What happened?
Nothing.
I wanted to separate, like I wanted to separate the line. It was too close to the previous question and next question. I wanted to bring
Yeah.
it down a bit, right?
Yeah.
So I now did padding.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do padding bottom, right?
Where are you doing
Exactly. I went
the
to the
padding?
top. So the thing now, the footer now,
Well, where are you adding the padding? That's what matters.
footer
If you add it inside footer,
to bring it down.
if you add it inside footer, then you are
Yes.
doing padding top. But mine, I put it inside the button container, which is the object above the footer.
Okay. So so the degree, like, is there anything we can do about these three buttons that are clicking?
That's what I want to check.
Meanwhile, the hovering thing you were talking about, did you do anything about it?
The only code you're adding for the hover is to do the same button hover. That would be the code.
Oh, where do we add that?
This is what you need, the code for button hover.
We will all show our own. Oh. Everybody that did their own, they will show it. Let's be
Yes.
proud of ourselves to do it.
Let's be sure that we did it well. Um,
This controls the button. Then the hover effect, you have to repeat this same button, then just put a column hover.
Wait, I don't get what you're saying.
Dot btn colon hover.
Okay, so we should create another
Yes, that's the one that adds that effect, the hover effect.
okay.
So where do we input it in the HTML?
No, it's not in the HTML. It's just CSS. The hover effect is something that the mouse does by itself. So the hover effect will now be a new color, a lighter color of the blue. Then I had to ask the question on the Slack because I didn't know this before to change the cursor into a hand. That's the code, cursor pointer.
Where did you get all this background image from?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
I'm not confused. Let's say you don't
That's
know.
why I didn't want to show you my own code and then we start working from there. Rather, we started working from scratch because ordinarily would Chrome would understand how some of those curves and border radius. Hold on a bit.
Oh, wow.
All this one for people now. Now,
I
wow.
tell you, I tell you.
Seriously.
Just telling him I'm not for everybody, which is normal.
Okay,
Yes.
can you hear me?
So
Seriously. Exactly. Like,
just they tell me, oh
out
God,
of probably 21,000, I wonder how many,
how many
you know,
people will pass?
actually.
You are going to be part of them. You
before
are going to,
before
no
we go
matter what.
before we go reach stage 5 like this, we for don reduce guy.
I swear.
But this group, nobody's going to reduce this.
Amen. Amen.
Me o.
Now,
Everybody has
But
reduced.
Kingsley,
yeah,
Kingsley,
yeah.
I'll
did you study computer science or something?
Master's degree, yes.
I mean Kingsley, in computer.
For master's degree, yes.
Mad.
Not for BSc.
Alright.
I hope you get a very good tech job.
I actually work in a tech company.
God,
And what the company is that?
it's you that they're trying to be
It's
like.
tech training. It's just a
What
training company. New Horizon.
Is it a Nigerian tech company
Yes.
or they don't pay?
They don't pay now. Yes.
how you take no say they no pay? They work for this.
No,
This is girl o.
Have you heard of New Horizon before?
Like comparing, if you want to compare it to like a remote job, they don't pay or they don't pay.
True. No, if you're earning in dollars, that's a different ballgame entirely.
Yeah.
So the idea is to skill up enough to get those gigs.
I hope we make it till the end, Sha.
Amen to
It's
that.
not
Of
easy.
the house. I'm
Yeah,
not going
It's
to
not
allow
we
okay.
hope.
nothing will make any of us that I will not hear that something down. I will find it.
I was about to quit
We gathered
after the second task. Like I was just about to quit after the second task. Then I made a complaint to the general group about the teaching method, how they just force us to go and read on YouTube and then come back and do a task. And one guy just came and attacked me like that. And then I said, okay, let me see it to the end.
Is it just me or I didn't hear you clearly?
What?
His network is not.
Hello, can you hear me?
The network was bad.
Okay, I said I was about to quit because the teaching wasn't teaching per se.
Who registered for the product manager class?
Auntie, calm down now.
No.
Sorry.
You guys are doing both products, the design and full stack.
Who is doing both? If you are doing both, I'll drop it now.
How is it possible to do both?
Some people are doing both.
You can't do both.
Some people are actually trying to do
Product
both.
design
I
and
just
full stack.
registered.
Yes.
Yeah.
They will use two
Okay,
accounts. They are
like
using two
just the
accounts.
kind of tools
Yes, you use two accounts, two emails, and then
oh
you have the different tasks
so
on two of them.
How is the
how
person
is
going
it
to
going to
cope?
manage that?
That's the
Exactly,
thing.
like
This one, only this
unless the
one is
person is not a newbie.
Most of
only
them
this
will
one
not
is
be
Unless the
learning.
newbies.
person is not
They won't be
exactly,
newbies.
that's what I'm thinking. They can't be newbies. I mean,
Okay, so Kingsley, how this whole code that is under button hover,
Yeah.
how did you do it?
Now you see, these ones are not specifically for every browser.
Okay.
That's why it is not included in our own CSS. What you need in the button hover is a new color and a cursor property. So I'll just say background color,
Okay.
then give it a lighter color of the same blue. So if I choose this normal blue, then make it lighter.
Use fill. Okay, so background color.
Then make it lighter.
Um.
Then cursor pointer.
Okay, so wait, background color. Then make it a little bit lighter.
Yes, than the regular blue.
Okay. Let me see. I think without using.
This particular property or selector, anything here column hover has, there are other ones. It could be selected or clicked. It's not just the word hover. So those navigations where when your mouse comes on top of the navigation the color changes, or when you click it the color changes, that's where you apply those properties.
The cursor pointer is what?
It's to make
Can you
sure
repeat for it?
it changes into a hand and not just your normal pointer.
Okay. Let me go and try it out. Okay.
Usually when you have a job to do, and although you're not expected to know all these selectors and know all these properties, that's why there are sites where you
So
can
what
generate
are we still doing the whole over thing?
sites like this where you can generate that CSS code and use it.
There's a noise in the background. I don't know who.
Looks like someone is on the road.
Pearl, Pearl.
No, it's not from here. I can hear the noise too.
Okay.
So if you can see my screen, you can see that there are places where you can generate.
Oh, so you can just go and generate it.
You can generate the code, yes. Something like this, you generate the code that you can use anywhere.
Oh. Here we can generate it.
The CSS generator is available that anything you're trying to achieve and you need the CSS codes, you can generate the code and use it anywhere. All these are already made CSS generators. So we're good with this, right? My network will break a little bit because I'm about to take a call. I'll be back in a few minutes, a few seconds. Hello? Okay. Okay. Good evening. Yes. No. I'll come and pick it up and pick up my phone. How much? 80,000. Wow. So what if I'm bringing it myself? What I had in my mind was around. Okay. What I had in my mind was around 40K. No, as in for the whole shipping. That's what I thought. It was going to be. Yeah. Yes. Oh, the one is it the one in Sio? I thought it's the one in Selu, opposite GT Bank. Okay. There's no one in town. Wow. Yeah, I know it's fun. Yeah. I know. Yes. Yeah. Okay, what you do for me is I know. Now calculate for me what it will cost me if I bring it myself. You tell me now how much is it for the two of them? 58 for the two of them. Yeah. Let me think about it. I'll call you back.